guys, welcome to another episode of Create Brevity. This is your host, E-Director. And for this week's episode, I want to discuss Everyone Is You Pushed Out. I've made a couple of episodes about this concept before, but it's a really popular topic. I always get a bunch of questions about it. A bunch of questions wanting clarifications about the concept, just wanting more analysis of the subject itself, and so I want to revisit it again and hopefully you guys will get something out of it, and maybe it'll be easier for you to understand Everyone Is You Pushed Out after listening to this. So before we get into it, I do want to remind you guys that I offer one-on-one coaching, and I do offer an amazing blog with more techniques, more tips, and more explanations, and all that is found on my website, www.createbrevity.com. Okay, so Everyone Is You Pushed Out, or EIYPO, right? EIYPO. You might see that hashtag sometimes. That's what it stands for. Everyone Is You Pushed Out. This is a concept that was started by Neville Goddard. And it's basically the mirror principle. It's this idea that all the people around you that you have interactions with, they're just mirroring you back to you, okay? Neville Goddard, how he explains it is that essentially you are in a state, right? And you are projecting that out onto people. Okay. Now, people kind of they get a little wonky about Everyone Is You Pushed Out when they start trying to explain it, and they start kind of trying to process it out in their heads, especially if you're new to manifesting. And so there's nothing wrong with this, but I want to have a disclaimer. You do not manifest everything that is wrong in the world, and you don't manifest everything that is good in the world. For example, when I first started manifesting, I would, they always tell you to start small. So I would try to manifest elevators. Elevators always work for me. I would have those thoughts. I'd be in a good state about it. And most of the time, it worked. I would get there and the elevator would either be right on the floor that I was, so just press the button and the doors open, I get in. Elevators work for me, awesome. Or elevators would be just 1 or 2 floors below or above me, so 5 seconds, boom, they're there, I get on the elevator. But every once in a while I'd get to the elevator and I'd notice that it hadn't worked out for me. It was 15 stories away from me, or it was in the basement and I was on the 20th floor, something like that. So I was like, I don't get it. Everyone's you pushed out. Why is this not working for me? That kind of thing. And at first it kind of made me go within. I started doing a lot of analyzing. Am I doing something wrong in the process? I don't get it. Is this just old self-concept bubbling up, right? And then I started wondering, am I projecting something out that I don't want? Am I projecting doubt into the world? That kind of thing. And this is, again, like I said, where manifestors can get caught in a little bit of a manifestor's trap. Because we're used to things working out, right? For us, when we manifest, we are used to receiving things. So we know we can do it. So sometimes we get into the trap of, well, I know it's real. I know manifesting's real. I know it works for me. How come I can't do this one thing? Or I must be doing something wrong. That's why this is the only thing that's not working out for me. You can have those doubts. But here's the thing. Those doubts inherently, right? They sort of inherently project lack, okay, which is not something that we want to do. It's not true. And the other thing about it is, again, it's not so much that you are projecting or reflecting every single thing in the world around you. You have to remember that what's happening is that what's happening with everyone as you pushed out is that you're looking at it from a perspective, okay? And what do I mean by that? What gets pushed out is not your random thoughts or your feeling that day even. What's getting pushed out is your overall perspective on life and on people, right? So it's not that, I had a negative thought about Tom, and so he reacted negatively to me. It's not a 1-for-1, okay? What it is you might have decent enough feelings about Tom, but overall you have negative feelings about yourself. You have negative feelings about men, maybe, okay? So no matter what decent feelings you have about Tom, those overriding inner beliefs, okay, they kind of project over the 5 or 6 thoughts you've had about Tom, okay? And it doesn't matter. Maybe you've been manifesting Tom for a week and you've been affirming to yourself. How long have you had negative inner beliefs, okay? So it's not like this 1-for-1 projection, which a lot of people think it is. They think everyone, as you pushed out, is, okay, as long as I sit here and I just have this affirmation in my head, that's what's going to project out. And by the way, sometimes that can work. It very much can work. If you don't have those negative beliefs, okay? If you don't have something going on, you don't have any fears happening, your thoughts can more easily project out, okay? But if you're kind of wincing on the inside every single time you have an affirmation, then you're not really dealing, right, with your inner beliefs. You're not really acting in faith, okay? And all you're projecting out is need and want, right? Because when you need something, that is a very different feeling than just wanting something, right? Needing is heavy. That is like, I need this to survive. I'm not going to make it through the hour, the day, the minute without getting it. Wanting is very different. Wanting is like, it's more casual, it's lighter, right? You can even feel the difference between the words as I say them, right? I need this money versus, you know what? I want this money, okay? Or in many people's cases, I want money for something, right? I want a pool, okay? I want sushi dinner. I want a goat cart, right? Whatever, insert whatever. All of those things are not essential to your survival in this moment. And there are things that you could buy with money, okay? So it's not as desperate as I just need money to survive, okay? Now, want and need, right? That's one component, right? That feeling of having or not having, that is important. And it's an important part of manifesting because, as we discussed in many episodes, you don't actually get what you want, you get what you are, okay? And I know what you're saying, but you just said want is better than need. That is true. Want is better than need. Wanting something is definitely better than needing it. However, what's even stronger than want is just being it. And this is where, we get into the assumption. Staying in your assumption, okay? Live in the moment, okay? In your head, in your heart, where you have your goal. So you want a swimming pool? Think about how great it would feel, okay? How great it would be to jump in on that pool on a hot day, okay? The feeling of the water on your shoulders or in your hair, okay? Think about how awesome it would be to have the money, okay? Maybe you can pay for your pool in cash, right? Make it fun, okay? That feeling, okay? That is the what you are part of manifesting, okay? So if you can get to that are part, okay? That's it. Your manifestation is essentially done, okay? Your job at that point is to just maintain that. Not forever, okay? not, for 24 hours a day, just whenever it comes up in your head, okay? That's kind of the benchmark that I like to live by. So if you haven't been thinking about a swimming pool, okay, but then all of a sudden you see someone on TV, maybe you're seeing something on your phone about swimming pools, right? The algorithm pulls it into you. Oh yeah, check yourself and just get back into that feeling, okay? That's what people mean when they say dominant feeling, okay? They're not talking about affirming 24/7, okay? That's actually probably a pretty terrible feeling. I know, because I've done something similar to that, and it just made me feel more desperate, and it made me feel frankly delusional, okay? I felt further away from my manifestation, which is not a good thing, okay? You want to be your manifestation, because being it, imagining being in the pool, imagining paying for the pool, those are all indicators that you are connected to your desires. You're connected to your manifestation, right? To your prayers. Okay? So, back to everyone as you pushed out. That dominant state, right? Every time you think of it, okay, either kind of realizing that you're in the dominant state, being happy about it, okay? And if you're not in the state, making sure that you are in the state, okay? Not in an obsessive way, not where you're going crazy, but just in a nice, natural way where you are preferring to have a better feeling. You're preferring to think better thoughts, okay? Because again, that indicates want. Constantly being on vigil, flipping thoughts, okay, indicates strong need, right? So when you're in that nice, comfortable state, when you're living in your 4G, when you are your manifestation, whatever that may be, okay, right? You're in the pool, if you want to go back to the swimming pool example, okay? That is the everybody is you pushed out, okay? That's what gets projected out, that right there, okay? So it's less about errant thoughts and less about feelings, and because you're going to have a million feelings a day, right? And if you want to test this out, I suggest that you create kind of a feelings journal. And I don't mean where you have to like in detail kind of longhand everything out. What I mean is just have like a little book or something, maybe a little journal, where you can indicate even just the 4 basic feelings, right? Fear, anger, happiness, sadness, okay? And every time you get like kind of a feeling, you know what I mean, where maybe you'll be in a good mood and you feel happy, you know you're singing along with the radio on the car ride home, you're excited to eat dinner. That's a happy feeling, right? So check, okay? Maybe you'll see something kind of sad. Maybe you'll see a really sad commercial. Okay, I know that any commercial to do with animals, okay, animals needing rescue, anytime the algorithm wants to pull something like that up, I get into a sad feeling, okay? So check for that, okay? Maybe you watch something and it makes you upset. That's an angry feeling. Or maybe you have a conversation with someone and they trigger you. Again, anger. What you're going to find at the course of a day is that you have so many different ticks, okay? 10 ticks in anger, 11 ticks in happiness, 8 ticks in sadness, right? 5 ticks in fear, okay? And I don't tell you to do this so that you can feel bad about yourself. I tell you to do that because when you can look at that, you're realizing just how many feelings you have throughout the day. So trying to obsessively rein that in, okay, that's not something that that's even really possible. And it's not really natural or healthy. You're supposed to change, okay, throughout the day. I think it's natural, right? It keeps you moving. It keeps your emotions moving. The thing is, you just want to have a balance with it. You don't want to be too scared for too long. You don't want to be too mad for too long, okay? But it's okay to let yourself feel that. It's trying to tell you something, right? I told you guys in an earlier podcast, your emotions, your feelings are kind of like paper cuts. They're little wounds, okay, that you need to attend to, okay? When you're done attending to them, you don't have to keep going, right? You can shift into something better. So you can allow yourself to be angry, to be upset, but then realize that, that was great. I'm glad I released that. But I'm going to shift now. I'm going to choose better feelings. I'm going to go into a happier feeling or a calm feeling, a neutral state. Okay? So all of your feelings don't manifest, and neither do all of your thoughts. Now, you could also keep a thought journal, but that would be, that would actually be a huge undertaking, as most people have close to 70,000 thoughts a day. So just think about that, okay? You're not going to flip 70,000 thoughts a day, okay? You can try to do that, but that would be exhausting, okay? And again, it's not going to make you feel good when you're tired, okay, and you've just been flipping thoughts, okay? Remember, you manifest what you are. So if you're constantly flipping thoughts, constantly in the neg, okay, what do you think you're going to get? Probably more negative thoughts, probably more irritated about the fact that you're doing this, right? So I wouldn't worry about flipping every single thought that I get. It's just what you notice, right? So you're in a good mood, okay, you're driving down the road, but then all of a sudden you notice that, man, I'm thinking about my SP a lot. I'm thinking about university acceptance too much, right? Man, why do I keep thinking about that? That's when you can flip that sort of feeling and that thought kind of at the same time, right? Because that feeling is a little bit of an anxious feeling. It's fear, okay? So you can try to flip that. And as far as your thoughts go, that's the time, because you've noticed that you've had a bunch of negative ones, right? And you can go, you know what? I've been thinking about my university acceptance letter. I've been thinking about my SP, okay, for 30 minutes now? Okay, the whole car ride home. I'm not going to do that, okay? This last couple minutes, I'm going to listen to a song that I like. I'm going to think about the time that my SP and I had fun together, okay? I'm going to think about some more fun things that we could do. I'm going to think about how awesome it's going to be to get that university acceptance letter in my hand, okay? Or if you guys choose to get email delivery, to have it open up in my inbox, right? Oh my God, there it is, right? I opened my inbox, there's the email from the university, okay? Click on it, okay? It's redirecting me, type in my PIN, and then boom, I'm in. How awesome is that going to feel, okay? That right there, choosing better thoughts, okay, and choosing better emotions, okay? So that, okay, that choice, okay, that's the dominant thing, okay? Every time you notice that you're having a bunch, okay, every time you notice that you're kind of getting in a rut with your thoughts and your feelings, choosing to switch out, choosing to something better, that choice is the dominant state that you're in, okay? Being able to make that choice is the dominant state that you're in. And that state, right, that's your perspective on life, okay? Nothing more clearly speaks to your perspective on life than whether or not you're able to make that choice, okay? So if you can go, you know what, I see what I'm doing, I'm self-aware enough to see what I'm doing, I'm going to stop, okay, I'm going to pivot, okay? Because I know it's possible for me to get what I want. I know it's likely for me to get what I want, and I trust this process, okay? So I'm pivoting, okay? Boop, pivot. That says that you have a perspective on life, okay? You have a perspective that is healthy, for one, okay? Because you believe in yourself, and you believe in your ability to do something, okay? And that is a perspective of someone who is working through their limiting beliefs, okay? Who is saying, you know what, I have the courage to want what I want and allow myself to want that. And I allow myself to have it, okay? Right? Because in my head, in the sanctity of my own mind and heart, okay, I have what I want, okay? And as far as the 3D, I'm going towards it, okay? So I'm manifesting, right? That is manifesting, okay? So that manifestation, right, that process that you're in, that's going to be what gets projected out. That is everyone as you pushed out. They get pushed out and they reflect that dominant perspective that you hold, okay? that perspective that you hold, by the way, is who you are, okay? So that's what gets pushed out, is the who you are-ness, okay? What doesn't get pushed out is errant thoughts and feelings. So don't worry if you find yourself having some negative thoughts and feelings. Everyone does, okay? Like I said, that's good. Be grateful for those things. They're leveling you up, okay? They're showing you where you need a little TLC, okay? Or you need a little bit of a patch up. Once you get it, you'll be fine, right? So, I hope this helps. Like I said, a lot of people have some very kind of interesting views on everyone as you pushed out. You know, I've seen some things where people kind of try to turn it into a 1-for-1, okay? And that's not very healthy way of looking at manifesting, in my opinion, okay? These are all just my opinions. But also, I think it's unsustainable over time. And I think overall, for most people, when they try to make it a complete 1-to-1, they're worse off. You know, they feel worse. They get more negative thoughts than they wanted, okay? And they kind of feel like they're a little bit delusional. And I'm speaking from personal experience, okay, on that. I have tried to control every single thought and feeling. And I found that it was almost untenable. You know, I was not in the present moment. I wasn't focusing on anything in the present because I was always in my head trying to flip every thought, okay, trying to flip every feeling. And yeah, I didn't feel good about anything, okay? I wasn't letting go, okay? So I was constantly battling resistance. But once I realized I'm the one that's creating my own resistance, right? I'm the one that's keeping me separate from the things that I want, okay? Partly because I wasn't allowing myself to have them, even in my own head, okay? And once I was able to get a grip on that, okay, and I really started understanding that your perspective on life is the thing that gets pushed out. That's the thing that people respond to, okay? I realized, oh, okay, everyone is you pushed out is not 1v1. And it's not this, when I say 1v1, it's not an instant correlation, right? So, correlation, I apologize. It's not an instant correlation. So it's not like, I thought about a peach, there's a peach, right? That kind of a thing. Again, you can get those things if you don't have any resistance to those thoughts. So, for instance, I could be thinking about peaches, walk down the street, someone starts selling peaches. That's a correlation. Goodness. That's a correlation. Okay, apologies. That's a correlation right there. Okay? However, I don't have any resistance to peaches. Okay? But for those of you guys who are doing SP work, if I'm thinking SP thoughts, okay? Thinking SP thoughts, and then I look up and I'm wondering where it is. Well, it's a little different. You have a lot of resistance, okay? There's probably a decent amount of negative beliefs that are mixed in, okay? That's just you. And then you also might have a lot of negative thoughts about your SP that you haven't realized, okay? So there's resistance there. So it's not just going to instantly, right, pop out. However, okay, if you, like I said, get that better perspective on yourself, okay, on your manifestation, okay, and you start projecting that out, okay, you're going to find that people are going to respond to that, okay? So, again, it's not instantaneous. So it's not like I had a bad thought about someone in a truck, okay? I'm going to walk down the street and the truck's going to happen. No, and you wouldn't want that, okay, either. Because that is what? That's untenable. If every single negative or positive thought manifested, well, the world would be chaotic, right? We don't have that. We have balance. So it's not, again, that you had a couple of thoughts about your truck. It's the perspective on life that you're in, okay? So if you don't have any resistance, though, right? Because, you know, negative things that pop out instantaneously, it works the same way as positive ones, right? So if you think, I have a bad feeling about my truck, it's just going to break down, and you are constantly in that perspective about your truck, you know, negatively, it will, and it breaks down, you can be like, see, I knew it. And yeah, probably you are probably correct. That is probably something that you did, okay? But it's not because you had a bad thought about your truck once. It's probably a very intense focus that you've had on it for a while, okay? And honestly, while that's unfortunate if something like that happens to you when you get those negative manifestations, they're still manifestations, okay? So that should still be proof for you that as long as you turn it around, okay, the other positive manifestations will come just as quickly, okay? So hopefully that sheds more light on everyone as you pushed out. Like I said, it's not a one-to-one correlation. It's not a one-to-one correlation. My God, I have mispronounced that word 3 times. I apologize. Okay? And you're going to find that it is about your perspective on life, your perspective on who you are, on what you're able to get, on what you're allowing yourself to get. That's going to be what the world is responding to, okay? People, places, things, okay? All the nouns respond to that perspective. And the ability to make the choice of turning away from negative to positive, that is your dominant perspective. That's the state that you're in, okay? And that speaks highly to who you are and where you are in your manifestation, okay? So, like I said, thank you so much for listening, guys. I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the questions, okay? I really hope you guys enjoy this. I know it's a little bit of a longer explanation, but I just wanted to give you as much detail as possible, okay? So that, and as many examples as I could, so that you guys could try to, get yourself into that state, really get yourself into the manifestation, and you guys can definitely start choosing a different perspective, okay? Love and light. Thanks again. Have a great day, guys.